I didn't spend that long in bed. I said I was gonna chill in bed and hang out by myself, but I didn't. I might have briefly. I don't. Oh, that's right. You know how I said in my last video, if you don't know, go back. You know how I said that. No, what did I say? Oh yeah, that I was like, I need to spend time with myself, talking with myself, and then another part of me was like, I could just watch a video of me from the past, and then I was all like, no, that doesn't count. That's not what we have to do. I did that anyway. And it was so relevant. Literally, the one I watched, the video, it's on this channel. Go down, go look at it. It's called Coping with Repeats. Right? And I was talking at the time about how Alex had just come up again, and we were trying to get her more comfortable coming out, which is exactly what's happening right fucking now. And the video was about how I noticed that certain situations in my life kept coming back around. And I've been talking about this in my videos lately. I've been talking about how the universe brings opportunities back around for you so that you are faced with the same situation, but you can respond differently. So if you were betraying yourself in any way the first time around when it happened, the opportunities come back around to fucking redeem yourself, to do things the way that you should have done if you were in your power. Yeah, and so I was talking about some things that kept happening. And it was, but it's like, okay, so I was talking about my ex Cody, right? And that's Caitlin's dad, that's my daughter's dad. But this was before I had my daughter, that I made that video. And I was talking about how I set him up with someone I loved back in the day, right? And that was like traumatic for me. And then I was like, it's happening again because now he wants to sleep with my other best friend. And then I was like, but it's slightly different because like I don't have feelings for her this time. Last time I had feelings for both of them. Yeah. And I kept saying, oh, I'm jumping between these three guys, and it's like, two mostly, but then Cody came back into the picture, and he was the one I was like fixated on the whole time, and it's like, yeah, so there's this whole thing, and one of the three guys is my current housemate. And I think I'm done. Like, I'm done following that cycle with him, which is kind of like, you would think that it would be like the trickier one because we live together now. But yeah, I was continuing that pattern with the same two guys, the other two guys, for ages. Even when I was with my son's dad, I was still sleeping with Caitlin's dad. Like, everyone knew about it. It's all fine. but like, I kept going through the same patterns. And then when I broke up with my son's dad, I got in touch with the other guy. But I don't remember who reached out, but me and him had this like back and forth. We kept like going to each other and then like blocking each other, and like it was annoying and stupid. I didn't like it. Yeah, so I like fully moved on from that guy. Like, I think it was about a year ago, that I fully moved on from that guy. But it's interesting because like I made that fucking like 11 years ago, and I was like, oh, I noticed these patterns I keep falling into, and then I literally fell into all of them again. Like, god damn it. And that's the thing, because at that time I had just had this huge spiritual awakening, and I was trying to maintain that. I was trying to maintain staying in that state. But then in that video, I was talking about, everything like keeps coming up, and now I'm like dealing with stuff, and it's like things are hard, and like everything is an effort. And I'm recognizing now what was happening back then. It's very interesting, because when you are, I was gonna say I mentioned this earlier as well, but no, it's slightly different. So, because when you set your sights on raising to a specific vibration, you have to purge all of the shit that's in you. So you know how I said it is the same thing, but more information. So I said previously that if you set your intention to be at a specific level, then the universe is going to bring you opportunities to level up so that you can get to that level, right? But usually, because it's not a matter of building yourself up, it's a matter of uncovering what's hiding who you already were, right? So, we gain information or whatever, but like it's all about uncovering the truth that's within, because all information, knowledge, the access to connect to all things is within. But anyway, your internal world manifests outwardly. Obviously not like exactly, obviously I'm not, I have like crazy awesome internal world, and I'm not saying that that's out here in the physical, although it's blended with the physical, and I should allow myself to see it more. True. Because the worlds overlap. Anyway. So, you have like all these shadows all on top of like who you actually are. So then the situations that you face, the situations that come into your life, they're to show you what has been like blocking your light. It's to show you what your shadows are, the shadows that you need to get off of the light. There's like shadow all over it. You need to pick off the shadow, right? So then the shadow is just this dense energy. It's just this darker, denser energy, you know? When things are more dense, it blocks the light. That's how things work, right? So, life will bring you opportunities, situations which will be opportunities to be triggered. And then when you are triggered emotionally, whatever, that means that that's a shadow that is blocking your light. So you need to figure out what that trigger is. What does it mean? Why am I triggered? Am I insecure about something? Where does that insecurity come from? Is that true? Do I need to be insecure about that? I don't think I need to be insecure about that. I think that's all bullshit, actually. You know, just that whole process. That's what life does. Anyway, so obviously there was a whole lot that I wasn't facing. Because back then, I was like, I didn't understand what was happening. I was like, I had this awesome spiritual awakening, and now I feel like I'm losing it, and now suddenly everything is depression, right? Well, yeah, of course, life is going to feel less amazing when you've just had like the highest vibration that you have ever had, and then suddenly it dwindles, and then normal just feels like shit, right? But then it wasn't just normal, right? Because then to get me up there, the fact that I was up there meant that it was shining light on things that had to be brought up, which is why the situations were brought back around into my reality. So then I can feel what I'm going through in that situation, and then feel back to what happened the first time and how I was feeling then, and like the way that I approached it was incorrect, apparently. Because then he ended up going and sleeping with my sister as well. And I was like, God damn, he went and fucking did this shit like 3 times. The first time, I literally made it happen. I like set them up because I wanted them to both be happy, and I didn't give a shit about myself. Well, now I do give a shit about myself, okay? But then the second time, I was like, well, I'm less attached to her, so maybe it won't matter as much and stuff. But I don't know. And then he went and slept with my sister. And now I'm just thinking, like, maybe he's just a douchebag. Maybe he's just a douchebag. No. I'm not even like, I don't have a connection to him anymore. Like, I guess there was a part of me that kind of hoped that we could be friends. But he doesn't deserve that. Why would I want that? What a fucking asshole. I literally stopped sleeping with him because I told him, it feels like you're only sleeping with me right now. And it feels like you're only inviting Caitlin over to visit you so you can sleep with me, because Caitlin lived with me, right? So whenever he invited us over, we would go there, but then he would get Caitlin to spend time with her nanny, and he would just try and get in my pants. So I was like, I don't feel okay with that. And I think that we should stop sleeping together until I feel like you're actually trying to see Caitlin, you know? But then we didn't hear from him again after that. He didn't invite Caitlin over at all. He didn't visit us anymore at all. And we found out he was spending all of his time every weekend visiting my sister. And yeah, it was like a month after I told him that I didn't feel comfortable sleeping with him for that reason, that I found out that they were sleeping together. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it wasn't even that. I mean, yeah, that fucked me up. But then also knowing, oh, I was right. He was only trying to use her as an excuse to get laid. Like, are you kidding me? What the? Okay, yeah. But anyway, that was years ago now. I'm sure he's a good dad and stuff. That didn't sound very convincing. You might be right. No, he's it's just, I don't, the only concern I have is that she's picked up on his attitude, and that is of refusing to acknowledge when you've done something wrong or apologize for it. And that is exactly the kind of behavior I was hoping to avoid. I didn't want my kids exposed to too much of that, but of course it's her dad, so. And then I was like, as long as she's got me to try and teach her, she'll probably end up fine. I don't know if I was doing it the best way. I was kind of just like nagging, like lecturing, like explaining very, very annoyingly over and over and over again. Like, because instead of like getting like really angry at the kids, I just kind of like to explain, just explain and over explain what they did wrong, why it is bad, why it's affecting people, how it's affecting people, how would you feel if that happened to you, blah, 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 blah. And I just do it until their brains start melting. Until they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, that's okay. Yeah, probably need other methods. I don't know. Yeah, so all of that stuff, all of the Alex stuff was very, very interesting. And like, of course, I've had a situation come up recently, which has happened before, which I've been super frustrated about it. I'm like, I've done this before. Successfully, actually. Why is it happening? And why is it not working out as well as last time? But then I'm like, okay, well now I have to look into why this revisited. No. Oh, I know why. No. There are many, many reasons why. You can't just look at one thing and be like, I did that thing, and therefore this should be done by now. Like, oh, there's many things. Fine. Many things I have to work through. Well, someone that I was waiting to get back to me has responded. So now I'm a go. But yeah, I ended up watching a movie as well. I will spend some time by myself, and I will do ability training, and I will do a reading. I will. But later. It's already dark. It's like only like, I don't know, 5:30, 6, I don't know. But it's dark outside. Yeah. Okay. I'm going now. All right.